Hello everybody, and welcome to the Top 4 at 4. I'm your OEA Legislative and Political Director, Amanda Ewing, and this week's Top 4 at 4 topics include number 1, statewide charter expansion, and then there are good bills on the topics 2, 3, and 4. Number 2 is the Reading Sufficiency Act, 3 is the TLE, and 4 will be additional testing bills. So I'll start us off with the first topic, which is statewide expansion of charter schools. Yesterday, the House of Representatives passed Senate Bill 782 by a vote of 64 to 31. Within those 31 no votes were 26 Democrats, or all of those who were in attendance at session yesterday, and 5 Republican legislators. Those 31 no votes voted with Oklahoma's education professionals in opposing that bill. The bill author, Representative Denny, acknowledged in her debate that teachers opposed the bill. But nevertheless, the body as a whole passed it, and now Senate Bill 782 heads briefly back to the Senate, where they will accept the House amendment and move the bill along to the governor's desk. Upon becoming law, this bill will allow a charter management company or a school district to open or transform an existing school anywhere in the state into a charter. A company or the school district wanting to make that decision first has to ask for approval by the local school board, but the state board of education will have the authority to override a local district that denies a charter at least, or a maximum of 5 times a year. Now, that can actually only be done 1 time per district per year. So at OEA, we were very disappointed in the passage of that bill, but we will work in the future to ensure that appropriate accountability measures are put in place for all charter schools. For our next 3 topics, all dealing with better bills than this, I will turn it over right now to Chanson Flick, your legislative and political organizing specialist for the western half of Oklahoma.
Thank you, Amanda. First thing I want to go ahead and start discussing are a couple of bills that relate to the teacher leader effectiveness system. Both bills are currently waiting to be heard in their respective chambers, so if you have a chance at any point to call your representative or senator, please go ahead and do so. The first is House Bill 1290 by Representative Cannaday and Senator Fields. This will be a 2-year delay on the quantitative aspect of TLE. So up until the school year 2017-2018, 100% of the TLE system will be based on the qualitative half. This bill also allows the TLE Commission to continue research on value-added models, SLOs, student learning objectives, and SOOs, student outcome objectives. The Commission has up until May 1st of 2016 to submit those to the State Board for approval. The second bill is very similar, is Senate Bill 706 by Senator Ford and Representative Casey. It's also a 2-year delay, but this bill also gives districts the options to do only the qualitative assessments on teachers that transfer into a district or will be returning from retirement to the classroom for their first year back. The second issue that I'd like to go ahead and discuss with you are the bills relating to the Reading Sufficiency Act. We currently have 3 of those that are still available that we'd like to kind of see moved along at this point. The first is House Bill 1065 by Representative Nolan and Senator Stanislawski. This bill would require that the RSA exam results focus only on reading comprehension and vocabulary scores rather than the standard right now, which is reading and language arts proficiency. The second is Senate Bill 630 by Senator Ford and Representative Casey. This bill will extend the team decision to school year 2019 and 2020. It removes the principal from the team, and starting in the 15-16 school year, students in grades 1 and 2 are to receive intensive remediation based on a plan developed by that retention team. It does remove promotion for students scoring limited knowledge for automatic promotion, and it does raise the level on that to below proficient. The third is Senate Bill 785 by Senator Jolly and Representative Denny. It is very similar to the previous bill, but it does, excuse me, add grade level benchmarks to the screenings to assess your reading levels. That's all I have on RSA and TLE, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to Ivy to discuss the remaining testing bills.
Thank you, Jansen. Some other testing bills that have made it almost all the way through the process are the ones I'm going to talk about. The first three all would remove the end of instruction exams as they are currently. But what replaces those end of instruction exams are all different in each bill. The first one, Senate Bill 707, by Senator Ford, Representative Denny, would allow the State Board of Education to make recommendations on what assessment would replace the EOIs. So, look at alignment with our standards and make a recommendation from the State Board. The second one, Senate Bill 784 by Senator Jolly, Representative Denny, would allow the State Board of Education to replace the assessment as long as it's aligned with our new standards by at least 80%. This bill also makes a few changes to the A through F calculations, which we haven't really talked about a lot this year, so it's kind of a combination bill. And then the third one that would remove EOIs is from Representative Derby, Senator Stanislawski, says that the State Board of Education can choose the assessment, but it must be controlled in Oklahoma by our state board. So, that's kind of the big difference between that House bill and the two Senate bills. This bill also does have some language in it that would remove any test not federally mandated in grades 3 through 8. So it's kind of got a couple of things to it. And the last bill I want to talk about, Senate Bill 708, also would remove any test not federally mandated in grades 3 through 8. And that is Senator Ford, Representative Casey. The tests that would be done away with at that point would be social studies testing in grades 3 through 8, fine arts assessments, and also our writing tests. So there's a couple of ways that's still moving through the process to cut down on some of our standardized testing. That's all I have on testing. We'll give it back to Amanda.
Thank you, Chancellor and Ivy. So, Chancellor and Ivy both outlined a lot of very good testing bills right there on those four separate topics. And just to be clear, those have all passed every hurdle at this point. They've made it out of their opposite House committee, but we really are just waiting for that last floor vote to take place so that they'll either take it to the governor or make it to conference for a final version of the bill. So, either way, as they said, we need your help in contacting our legislators and letting them know that we support these very good bills, and we want to make sure that they get a hearing before next Thursday and continue moving on. So thanks in advance for all your help in that effort. And then finally, just a final word. In the legislature, we often find unlikely allies. Politics can mean that sometimes. And over the course of House Bill 1749 making it through this session, I know a lot of us found a new hero in Representative David Dank. He was a longtime member of the Oklahoma State Legislature and represented House District 85 here in Oklahoma City. He was a staunch fighter against tax credits in trying to find more revenue for our essential state government services and to really hold people accountable for their use of government funds, and spoke very candidly in support of keeping OEA's payroll deduction, or probably more accurately, in opposing singling out one organization like ours to take away our ability to payroll deduct dues. And so David Dank passed away this past Friday, and his funeral will be tomorrow at noon. And so we just wanted to bring that to your attention, and he is in our thoughts this week. And You can find more information at okhouse.gov if you're interested in attending the representative's funeral. So that's an open seat now for the moment, and we're not sure what's going to happen with it in the future, but we will certainly keep you apprised. So thank you for joining us for this week's Top 4 at 4, and we hope to see you next week, or hope to have you on again with us next week. And have a good day. Thanks, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Bye.